Happy Friday, everyone.
We are nearing,
Halloween is coming soon.
oh my goodness, which means just like the beginning of winter. I feel like Halloween's the last of like fall.
hmm
Sometimes we get lucky into November with warmer weather, but
Yeah.
I don't,
I'm
I'm not disappointed. I do love fall weather. I really do. And I love fall clothes. I love leggings and big sweaters. It's so
I actually
basic.
get a really cute sweater from my girlfriend for my birthday, and I'm like, I want to wear this. She was so excited to give it to me. It's so soft. I was like, I really want to wear it, but I also don't want it to be cold enough yet
I,
because it's like one that you're gonna layer.
yep.
And then I sent you that vest the other day. I didn't buy it, but I'm probably gonna go back for it. I like to think about larger purchases,
Yes.
and I'm like, I've looked online. I'm not seeing what I want, so I'm probably just gonna go back and get it. It's a beautiful gold color,
Yeah.
not a gross, dirty. Some of those tan colors are just kind of ugh.
No, I know. I know. And the only thing about that for me is I would want it to be a full blown coat.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I know me, and if I'm cold, I want, like, that type of thing, but I want it to be fully.
This is purely aesthetics.
Yeah, of course, and it's adorable. It is adorable.
There is no, and please correct if we're wrong. The way that I would wear it is probably over a sweatshirt.
Mhm.
But like when you have so it's this long vest, like it's just cute to dress up.
It reminds me of, like, do you remember swimmers used to wear those, like, big
Yeah,
jackets?
yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like the length
Yeah.
it's longer, and it's super cute.
Yeah. So I was like, I just need to, because sometimes, you have like a really cute sweatshirt that you want to wear,
Yeah.
but then your coat is like too small to put over it.
Yep.
It's just, it's
Yep.
weird. Things
No,
get
I hear
weird.
you. I mean, this morning when I was trying to figure out what to wear over here, I was, like, looking for something in my closet that I knew wasn't there. I
Because
wanted
you got rid of it.
No, because I never owned it in the first place, but I wanted this skirt in my head to be there,
Okay.
and
Well,
I was
see,
looking.
if you had followed the app idea that I have, we would have solved this problem.
Listen, I still don't know if I fully understand your app concept, and we don't want anyone to steal the idea, but Liz has an app concept for a closet. I don't know who's gonna steal it, though, because I'm really not sure I
I
comprehend.
don't even mind sharing it because I don't have $100,000 or the time to put this app together. But please, if you are listening to this episode and you think this app is a good idea, shoot me a message. Maybe you know an app developer that we potentially could take this to. So my idea is, if you are shopping online, let's say you have, somebody you follow, Instagram, LTK, like to know an app, whatever, and you're seeing that they have these outfits that they put together. I like that. I like the inspiration because me naturally, like I don't feel like I'm great with fashion. So it's very helpful for me to see the whole outfit. But if you had an app that you could take a picture of everything in your closet, your main staples, not like your little $7 tank tops that you got to wear under a shirt sometime, right? But like your cute main staples. And then if you're all right, if you're dealing with water retention, you're waking up puffy, your ankles or your wrists are really swollen, or you can't get your rings off, and maybe you're even dragging throughout the day, no matter how much water you drink, there's actually a good chance that you're not actually hydrating properly.
Exactly, because water alone is not enough. You need electrolytes, you need sodium, potassium, magnesium, because those things actually pull water into your cells. Otherwise, you're basically just flushing it out and wondering why you're still tired, you're still bloated, and you're still sluggish.
But here's the thing, most electrolyte supplements out there aren't helping you in any way, because a lot of them contain things like natural flavors, food dyes, and maltodextrin, which can irritate your gut. And these things can also spike your blood sugar when you're trying to heal.
That's why we both started using Buoy. It's super simple, just trace minerals and electrolytes in liquid form. No flavors, no colors, no sugar, no sweeteners, and you squeeze it into whatever you are drinking. Water, coffee, tea, smoothies, you name it.
And it's clinically backed by science too. So studies have shown that Buoy helps you hydrate better, 64% better in fact, and that's data coming from key blood and urinary markers, not just marketing fluff. And honestly, you can feel the difference. I've had many clients tell me their digestion's improved, they have less headaches, and they're better energy throughout the day.
And Buoy isn't just for people that go to the gym all the time and sweat a bunch. They actually offer a 35% lifetime discount for anyone that's struggling with chronic illnesses. Things like POTS, Hashimoto's, Crohn's disease, chronic migraines, and every autoimmune condition. They're really committed to making better hydration accessible to people who need it most.
I actually throw it in my coffee every morning because it's such an easy upgrade. You don't even taste it, but you're definitely gonna notice if you miss it.
If you're tired of playing hydration roulette and want something that actually supports your body, you've got to try Buoy. It's honestly one of the simplest ways to feel better faster.
Store and you're like, hey, I really like this top, it would show you in your closet what pants, skirt, jeans, dress pants, skirt, whatever that you could pair it with. Are you layering it? Could that be a thing? Like, I just think it would be so helpful because for me, I forget what I have in my closet. And then I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, dang, I have like 5 pairs of jean shorts. That's kind of ridiculous. Really, probably don't need more than 3. So if I would have had this app, I could have scanned it in the store and it could said, no, bitch, put it back. You don't need another pair of jean shorts. But also more for the fashion standpoint of that it could show you how you could put all of this stuff together and then multiple outfit options. I just think with AI, there's got to be a way to do it, but I just don't have $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I love following a couple of people. I think the problem that run into is I follow people that do not have the same body type as me.
Mm.
And I need to find more people that have that type of body.
So right now, like we'll get to the point of the show in a few minutes. If you guys are with us, just remember you can always fast forward if you don't like the banter. But right now, the wide leg jeans are in, and I don't have the body type for
Oh,
that.
I'm tall, but I'm not thin. And so, like, I feel like it's a tall, petite body type.
I think you could pull it off. I think you would have to have a specific brand. Like some of them are like way too wide.
Wait.
By the way, did you watch the reel I sent you earlier from Champion at Target? Okay. This is the last, and then we have to move on. So at Target right now, they're selling Champion, and they decided to make, which I think is just crazy anyway, pleated sweatpants. But y'all, they put a pleat in the middle.
It looks like a clit, y'all. It looks like a vagina in the middle of your sweatpants.
I kind of want to get them just to like prank. And I mean, Art's listening already, but like, what you should get them and just like prank Nick and see if he like says
I
anything.
don't think Nick's fashion aware enough for that.
Dang.
All
All
right.
right.
He's terrified to make any comment towards me on anything I'm wearing. So
Well, yeah, because you almost murdered him after he told you you looked comfy once.
it's a very not nice thing to say to your wife. Like, I don't care if I'm wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Do not tell me that I look comfortable. Okay. I am always sexy to you. Okay. I am your wife. I don't care what I am wearing.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I then want someone to prank their husband because I think it would be hilarious. I was watching this reel rolling, laughing. And, anyways, okay.
Okay, last thing, because I just saw this pop up. It said my husband should count his blessings. I'm the $9 cinnamon roll type, not the $1,500 designer bag type.
Oh,
I
my
like the $9 coffee type.
You are.
Mm.
You are. You are. All right. So we're going to talk about 5 principles of healing and change it up a little bit because we always talk on, gut health and hormones and peptides and autoimmune and all those things. But the reality is we have to be in the right mindset, mental and emotional mindset to truly make a change that's lasting, right? There are a lot of people who might go through a gut healing protocol and they feel much better. And then, as we've seen this happen with even clients that have left and come back, they just decide, like, fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore. And then all their symptoms come back. They stop their peptides, they stop their hormones, they stop their supplements, and they're just like, why do I feel terrible again? And this is really where we're not saying you have to have all those things in long term. When you're in a gut healing protocol, as I say to some of my clients, like it's going to feel heavy for a little bit. That's not the long game. The goal here is to get you to a place where you're in a good spot, and then you can do the minimal things to maintain that. But a large part of that includes you doing the things that helped you from a diet and lifestyle perspective, from a stress management perspective, right? So learning that this is much more than just testing and supplements. We talk about that all the time. This is a whole body, whole lifestyle approach. And the first thing here is that it's going to take longer than you think or than you want. We live in a world of instant gratification. We get upset if Amazon's not going to deliver between 5 and 10 p.m. tonight. It's not going to come till 4 to 8 in the morning. No, I want it 5 to 10 p.m. tonight because it's only 10 a.m. in the morning, right? And we get that. But healing takes time, especially when you are unraveling years of dysfunction. There might be symptoms on the surface that are telling you something's wrong, but you don't really realize until you get into the trenches and do some testing, like how much really needs to be addressed. And not to mention, life throws curveballs. It's stressful. Whether that is stressors in your own personal life, it's stressor in somebody else close to you that is impacting you, it's the stress of the nation and the uncertainty in the world and politics and all of these crazy things that you really feel in your body, but it's not necessarily an in-home, stressor. I have a lot of those, I feel like. Um, and again, if you're approaching this the right way, you have to just we talked about this before, take away the timeline and accept that I will get there. I will arrive. I will get to this place that I want to be. But if you put this 4 month, 6 month, 12-month time frame on things, you have the wrong mentality. And I would tell you right now, you'll probably be one of those people who results and goes backwards. And ends up in the place that you were before because you're looking in this like a chore instead of really truly embracing the process, embracing the education, embracing the journey. Like one of my clients gave a testimonial at the event and she's like, it's going to take longer than you want. It's harder work than you want it to be. But here I am 15 months in and I'm still loving the process because she's still continuing to learn. She's learning more about herself. She's learning about the season of life she's in and then how that can translate even to other people in her family. And so while that is the first point, it's going to take longer than you want. If you approach it the right way, it can become a lot easier than kicking and screaming the whole way.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked about this before. The health journey is never fully over. Like you're constantly evolving. And the thing that I've really tried to be open to is having my body show me what it can handle and what it can't. And I push the limit sometimes and I'm like, this past month for Liz too, but for myself, like I traveled a lot. And there was family trips, there was our event, there was work trips, and it was I don't typically love traveling that much because I get inflamed when I travel. My digestion gets all screwy when I travel. I'm not in control of my food. My workouts are kind of all over the place. And the thing that I have learned to approach this with the mindset of is a year ago, I would have been like, I'm not seeing progress. This is stupid. Like, I hate traveling. I hate whatever. Now, I have actually maintained through all of that travel, and I'm like, "This is really cool. This is a win." Like, yeah, would I love to always be progressing forward in everything in my life? Of course I would, including my body composition. But, like, to be able to go on a family vacation and enjoy a drink or 2, go out to eat. One of our Nick's cousins, her boyfriend owns a food truck and it's a ravioli food truck, which is so cool.
Mm.
And so he makes like specialty raviolis and meatballs and stuff. I got to enjoy that. It was so good. But like old me would have been afraid to eat those things. I would have been, nervous or I would have reacted really poorly to it. But with all of the work that I've done, I was able to enjoy those things, not feel awful, come home from the vacation and like, yeah, sure, I'm a little puffy after flying, but it goes away in the matter of a week or so. And to be able to evaluate that from a different perspective is what my health journey has been about. Like I have been able to change how I look at things in a positive way. And it's really cool. And so when you take away the timeline and you start to look at things from always trying to be positive about it and learning from it, it makes this process a lot easier. So the next thing is number 2, you are in charge of your health decisions. And this is something that I think we have grown into this like victim mentality in the country and the world today in terms of we blame everything else except for ourselves. Um, and we also then put the ownership onto those other bodies, whether they are our medical system, our government, our, doctor, our practitioner, like whoever. We look to them and only them versus trusting that your body is very good at telling you things if you're willing to listen. And also, you are the one in charge of taking ownership of your health, right? Like you don't get to put that in anyone else's hands but yours. And so, sure, can you have someone guide you? Can you have someone help you? Absolutely, I would advise it. Especially if you've been struggling chronically and have been trying to do it on your own and it's not working, right? But you have to be your own advocate. You have to be the person that is in the driver's seat of this process of healing or improving your health. Um, because you and only you are the one that can change you, right? We can give you the perfect plan, we can give you the perfect, ideal protocol and what to do and whatever it might be, but if you are not ready mentally to implement that, or if you are unwilling to accept that is your situation and the changes that need to be made, you're gonna be stuck for a while.
This just makes me think personal accountability, right? I know growing up, it was always just accepting whatever mainstream was, whatever the doctor said. But then you have these whispers and these voices and things that just don't feel right or sit right with you. And it came down to ultimately me being the one that's deciding I'm going to seek out other solutions. I'm going to start researching. I'm going to start asking questions. I'm going to start looking into things, right? Because everything was just normal. And I was tired of hearing that. I mean, I don't know if you're listening to this podcast, you feel the same way, but I went to so many doctor's appointments where I felt like my symptoms were just swept under the rug, right? They fell on deaf ears. And we talk to women that experience this all the time. And so it comes down to now we have to take personal accountability for not following through or following through and finding other answers because those doctors are going to come and flow. You're going to change insurances. You're not going to have the same doctor. Your health is still really, in your hands. Um, the number three thing that we want to touch on here is that food is not the enemy. And this really comes from the standpoint of you will see a lot of practitioners, providers talk about low FODMAP diet or stand in line. This happened to me when I was at the Reversing Autoimmune Disease Summit conference, whatever. And this woman is standing there telling everybody not to eat the spinach because of the oxalates. And I'm like, this lady is batshit. Like maybe she really has an oxalate issue, but a lot of people don't. And I know Dr. Gundry and like all of these people have really feared people from these things. And there are true cases where people don't tolerate them well. But to stand in line at a autoimmune disease summit and like basically tell everybody don't eat the spinach, that's just a little bit extreme. The same way that living a low FODMAP diet is extreme, like long term. Because if your digestion, and we talked about this all the time, if your digestion is working properly, if we're able to address the terrain and what's going on in your microbiome, we're able to calm down inflammation, give you the right pre, pro, postbiotics, the things that you really need, these bacteria to help you digest and absorb your food, you can eat freely without symptoms. Does that mean you're never going to have a symptom? No. We shared this recently on a podcast. Like after our event, super high stress, feeling a little bloated, had some of those Brussels sprouts at the restaurant. Rachel's like, I know I'm probably going to feel bloated tomorrow from this. I just don't handle these things super well. And then again, because we've had more coffee than water, I did not drink enough water throughout the event. I just knew that things weren't going to be optimal. But in a day to day, when you're traveling, like we just traveled a lot this month. And I can only think of one time that I did not really feel well. The other times, especially in Spain, no issues. I told Becca, it is so unfair. And if people don't believe it, go there and like feel it for yourself. We ate and drank freely whatever we wanted. And I never had any issues in terms of bloating or gas. I woke up, I pooped every day. Great. I felt like I had a flat belly in the morning. It was awesome. And then also their coffee is just so much better than it is here. So I'm working on importing that. But what I'm saying here is that we want variety. We want diet diversity. We preach this all the time. And food is not the enemy. It is also not the problem. If you address the root causes, you can bring back that diverse diet and enjoy it and not have major reactions.
Yep. So this kind of number four feeds off of a little bit of what we talked about with number two, is symptoms are clues, not enemies. So we tend to get very angry when symptoms pop up. The reflux that happens at night, or the heartburn, or the stomach pain, or the bloating, or the constipation, or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, your body's never wrong. Like, it's really good at telling you exactly what is going on and what it needs from you. And so when we have these symptoms, it needs attention, right? And silencing it with medications or even supplements. Like supplements can give you relief and they can help support a healing process. But listening and taking track, I actually did a podcast interview yesterday and she asked one of at the end, she was like, what are the top three things that you would give advice to for women that, are feeling overwhelmed or unsure of where to start or, aren't feeling well? And one of the things I said was keep a log of what you feel like on a day-to-day basis and pay attention to what is consistent. Like, are there symptoms that are consistently happening day after day, week after week. Those are symptoms that need to be addressed. Are there random things that happen? Okay, where are you at in your cycle, right? What did you eat the day before? Like, pay attention because your body can tell you so much. I was really gassy on Monday, I realized, and I was like, oh, I just made a bunch of broccoli and Brussels sprouts last night. So that's probably why I'm so gassy right now. Like, I hadn't it was a lot, and I ate a lot of it because it like I made them in the oven and they crisped up just perfectly, and they had, like, this seasoning on them that was just a little bit sweet, and I ate way too many of them. And so I was gassy on Monday, and, of course, my son and my daughter make fun of me. I was like at night, my daughter was like, "Mom, what do you say?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, excuse me, okay? I ate a lot of broccoli." Like, it wasn't smelly or anything, I was just gassy.
Mhm.
But I was like, "Stop. What happened yesterday? What could be driving this?" Right? Liz mentioned only one time she remembers that, like, she was experiencing stomach pain. I remember that happened to me too. It was the morning after the first day of our event because I was so unbelievably stressed out leading into that event. I had so much adrenaline. I drank way too much coffee. My stomach hurt so bad. And then it went away 2 days later. Like, I know exactly why it was happening, okay? I did all the wrong things. I didn't pay attention to my food or
And
water.
and we weren't not drinking the coffee because we were like, I'm so tired. We have to make it through one more day. This is gonna help.
But they weren't consistent, right?
Mhm.
But then if there's consistent things, fatigue, things like that. I've been dealing with a little bit of fatigue lately. I'm actually going to get a neural zoomer because I'm really curious to see, is there something neurologically? My dad has Parkinson's. I have a lot of blocks in my neurotransmitters and inflammatory genes. So like I'm kind of interested slash concerned of I
Mhm.
do a lot of things right. My deep sleep has improved. All of these things have improved, and I still get really tired sometimes. And so that I'm looking into, right? It's a clue. I'm going to dig deeper. I am not perfect, right? So use those symptoms and let them be guides, not I'm angry now because this is happening, or I'm going to, take an antibiotic, or I'm going to whatever it might be.
Yeah. And so the last thing here in terms of the principles is that tests are tools, they're not the final word. And this kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier in terms of like advocate for yourself, personal accountability. If you get a test that comes back and you're like, well, that didn't really tell me much, then keep digging. Just because you feel these certain symptoms that don't align. And we honestly have a lot of people who will find things on their labs that they're like, yeah, but I don't feel as bad as that, should it, or I don't have some of those like really common, for example, let's say like high levels of candida. Maybe you don't have thrush and, vaginosis that's reoccurring or athlete's foot or, some of those more telltale yeast fungal signs. Maybe you're dealing on the other side where it is more neurological. It's a lot of the brain fog. It's the joint pain. It's just like fatigue that doesn't ease when you have slept well. So just remember that it's all about, the interpretation of the lab as it relates to the person, their history, their lifestyle, what they're going through. That matters just as much as just what the lab result is. And obviously you've heard us, if you've listened to our podcast for a while, talk about optimal is not normal. And so just because you might go and get blood work done and they're like, everything is normal, get eyes on that. Look at it from an optimal lens, patterns and trends. Like I have some information, it's probably already out by now, but I did one just on digestive markers on a complete metabolic and complete blood count, 14 different ones that can tell you, hey, you have low stomach acid or you're not digesting and absorbing everything. You're more on that nutrition side. And this is because when people look at their lab work, unless it's really flagging high or low, or their doctor calls and says something, A, you don't understand because you're not trained clinically in blood chemistry. And B, your doctors are not sitting down and analyzing in the way that we analyze things. Like we're going through and we're looking at these markers optimal. And then how does that relate to other patterns? There's so many things that we look at in all of the 11 organ systems that help us put this story together for you and help connect these dots. And so that's one thing we do offer in our practice as a one-off. So you can always click the link in the show notes for that, schedule a call with our team. But these are really 5 principles that we believe can help guide your healing journey. And it also is how we support clients every day. So just a quick recap. Number 1, it will take longer than you think, but it will change your life. Number 2, you are in charge of your health decisions, that radical personal accountability. Number 3, food is not the enemy. Run away from anybody who tells you food is the enemy. Number 4, symptoms are clues, not enemies. Dig deep. Those are your check engine lights. And number 5 is test and address. Lab tests are tools, but not the final word.